What's going on, everyone? When you look at Cole Swider and the Los Angeles Lakers, you think match made in heaven, right? The Lakers for years have needed some just lethal shooting, guy that can knock down the three at an efficient, high-level clip, an elite-level type shooter. Lakers have tried on several occasions with guys like Malik Beasley and just always seems to fail. And Cole Swider, guy, 24 years old, good size, good length, and just dead-eye shooting. Right? I mean, the guy shot 43% in the G League. He came into the NBA with the Lakers as like arguably the best shooter, if not the best shooter in his draft class. Did go undrafted, but it was like, hey, this is a guy that's going to be a project that's going to need development. Last year, it was like, okay, he clearly is not NBA ready. His shooting is NBA ready, but he needs a lot of work. And this year, he comes into Summer League, and the idea is like, okay, we're going to really focus on him. We're going to see what strides have he made. He did well in the G League. He averaged 17 points, shot 43% from three. Again, dead-eye shooter, didn't really do much, but what kind of strides has he taken? You look at guys like Max Christie, huge strides. I mean, you're like, wow, this guy could be a starter. Like, this guy is great, right? And you look at Cole Swider, and it's just, things changed. Cole Swider still doesn't use his length. He's 6'9", but he might as well be 5'9" out there. He has no foot speed, no situational awareness. He just turns the ball over. He tries to do too much. And maybe part of that is just like he's trying to do too much to prove and be on the roster. But whatever it is, it just, he's gotten no better this year, in my opinion, than he was last year. All of the issues are still extremely prevalent. And he doesn't have, nobody expects him to come in and be an elite two-way player. Nobody's asking him to be the best defensive 6'9" guy in the league. No, like, look at guys like Duncan Robinson, right? Cole Swider would be perfect in that role. But Duncan Robinson is at least able to do other things. He can still make plays. He's not great defensively. When he's not knocking down the three ball, he's more of a liability than he is anything else. But he still has awareness. He still understands how the game works. He still can do other things, maybe not elite or anything like that, but enough to where like you can at least leave him on the court, even if he's not shooting 50% from three. Cole Swider he looks completely lost at times, lost. And that's not good. It's not good to look lost in the G League and then in the Summer League and expect him to, not be that in the NBA? Especially when guys are bigger, stronger, faster, just better equipped. Like, bringing him in as, like, just a specialist, right? Like a Matt Ryan type guy, where you just kind of have him on the roster for situational purposes. You know, you're down 2 seconds left, or, you're down 3 with a second left, something like that. Go put Cole Swider in, draw up a play, and let him get a three-point shot off and hope that he knocks it down. Like, sure. But with the Lakers roster and what they have right now and the other young talent, it just doesn't make sense. You look at guys like Colin Castleton. You look at guys like even Alex Fudge. Demoy Hodge. He looks great, right? He looks like the second coming of KCP. You got Colin Castleton, who looks like he might be the second coming of like a Marc Gasol. Right? I'm not saying that they'll be as good as those guys or anything like that. You never know, but they look good. And then you look at Lewis, and it's like, man, dude, that guy is great. You look at Shafino, that guy, like, you're looking at everyone else, and it's like all these other guys who are just coming in that don't have a year of experience. You're seeing them all just play really well and dominate. And then you see, like, second-year guys, like I said, like a Max Christie or a Murray or any of these guys that are playing in year 2, and it's like they're killing. Even guys that were in the G League on other teams are coming in and playing and clearly show like, okay, they're better than they were last year. But it looks like Cole Swider is the one that didn't. And it's like, would you rather bring in Cole Swider over like a Colin Castleton, over a Hodge, over like an Alex Fudge, who looks like he might be a Jared Vanderbilt 2.0, right? Like, would you rather bring him in over like a Scottie Pippen Jr.? Like, I wouldn't. I'd rather just keep giving him a couple years to develop. But here's the problem. He's already 24 years old, right? If he was like some 20, 21-year-old, right? Okay, fine. He's not where we want him to be. He hasn't made the strides that we had hoped. But hey, by the time he's 23, 24, he should be ready and ready to go. No, now at this point, it's like, unless he takes some ridiculous stride between this year and next year, then he's still probably not going to be NBA ready. Maybe he's getting closer, and it's like, okay, like, maybe he's worth a end of the bench role next year, let's say. Okay, fine, but now he's 25, and it's going to take you, another 2 years to get him to where you need. So now by the time, he's going to be 27, and now he's ready for rotation minutes? It just doesn't make sense when you got guys like, you got Castleton, and you got all these other guys that are younger, or even the same age, like even Hodge. Hodge is he's 24 if I'm not mistaken, right? So, but he is more defined. He already looks elite defensively. Granted, it's summer league, so how will his defense translate in the actual regular NBA? But even then, he's still shooting like 40% from three, so he's a great 3-point shooter, and he can play defense. He's not 6'9", right? He's like 6'4", 6'5", but still, like, having a 6'9" height is means nothing if you don't use it, right? Even his rebounding, like, he had like 7 rebounds the other night, and like all but like 2 of them were just balls that fell in his lap. Like, he was wide open, no one around, he wasn't fighting over nothing, right? Hodges is 6'4", but you see him fighting over things. And again, he's 24 years old. So you see this guy come in and be able to show that he can play both sides of the ball and be an impactful player. And then you see the strides that like Max Christie, and I get some people might argue, well, Max Christie got some NBA minutes. Yeah, but he wasn't playing 30 minutes a game. It wasn't like he was starting like regular. I mean, he had some starting moments, but that was because like those were in like desperate times. For the most part, Max Christie was just getting sparing minutes here and there. He wasn't this like, oh, this is our starting shooting guard. This, like, no, that's not what happened. Right. So I don't think that is the big fact. I just think some guys just they're not able to translate into the actual NBA. It's just how it goes. Right. Some guys are really good at other levels of basketball. They just do not translate well into the NBA. Like 24 years old, and he's had a year under his belt, and we've seen nothing that you can point out and go, man, he really improved in that area. He's still sloppy. He still has no situational awareness. Still turns the ball over heavily. He doesn't have strength or size. He doesn't have foot speed. And look, I love Cole Swider. The guy can shoot that thing. Man, that dude is lights out. And if we have a roster that is just like ridiculous, right? And it's just like, hey, he's our 15th guy and you got everything filled. Sure. Right? Like, and I've mentioned this before, maybe you leave Hodge, because the Lakers want to sign somebody on a two-way contract onto the roster. They want to go get another big man, right? You heard Christian Wood. You've heard Bismack Biyombo, right? And then they want to bring one of the two-way guys on as like that 15th roster spot. And then that way they have their 3 two-ways, and then they have their 15 guys, right? And Cole Swider was supposed to be that guy. That was the guy that the Lakers wanted to bring in, Cole Swider. And they just can't, because he's just not worth it. Now, could they bring him in so that way if something comes up, you can waive him? Right? So here's the thing. Again, Fudge has looked really good. There's several guys that have looked really good, right? And you can only have 3 two-way contracts. Now, if you bring in like a Colin Castleton, or you bring in like I said, a Fudge, or you bring in a Hodge, something like that, right? Well, if somebody in the buyout market becomes available, are you really going to waive one of them to go get that guy? Probably not. You're probably not going to want to do that. So would you rather bring in Cole Swider, have him be that final roster spot? He's just kind of there as like a Matt Ryan role for just specialty moments. And then if somebody comes up, you just waive Cole Swider on a non-guaranteed, and you bring that person in, and then you don't run the risk of losing Castleton or Hodge or Fudge or anything like that. Because again, at this point, I don't need to see him go from like fringe G League player to elite NBA starter. But you got to see some improvement, man. Like something. I mean, you can make an argument that he's worse this year than he was last year. Like, it's just, that's terrible. That is just terrible. It's disappointing. But anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions. And as always, I pass the question on to you. Let me know yours down in the comments below. Agree with me, disagree with me, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, let me know.